what to do in case of an emergency? Do you know what to eat in case of a food shortage? I'm not here to scare you. I'm simply here to encourage you that it may be time to prepare and be ready, just in case. It's always a good idea. You'll find out that when you're prepared, then these things don't happen. But if they do, you're ready. We have on our show a health expert who's going to share with us 7 goddess survival skills that you need to know now. I am Heaven Hope. This is Conversations with Goddess. And on the show today, my guest is Brigitte Mars. Brigitte is a weed expert, and that means the medicinal herbs growing in your own backyard, which she will teach you about, that are really important to your survival and to your health. There was a time she actually lived in the Ozarks in a teepee. No, Ruth Langmore, Marty and Wendy Bird were not there, nor Darlene Snell, but Brigitte Mars was, and she had her first child in a teepee. That's going to be another show. Brigitte is what I consider a modern day natural medicine woman. Master herbalist, nutritionist with over 50 years of experience, author of not 1, but 14 books. Wait, there's more. Natural chef, psychedelic sitter, end-of-life doula, and I'm going to let her fill in the blanks. So welcome to the show, Brigitte.
Thank you so much, Heaven.
Thank you so much for joining us from Boulder, Colorado. I've got Boulder in the background in honor of you, my darling.
Welcome to all of you listeners.
When you were a little girl, did you know you were going to grow up and become a natural medicine woman?
I did. You know, my grandmother was a practitioner of folk medicine, and she used remedies like, apple cider vinegar and honey and lemon and garlic. Her idea of ice cream was to put maple syrup on snow. And it was like something out of a fairy tale. So I knew at a very young age that I wanted to be able to help heal little wounded animals like she did, or wounded people in her community. And when I was maybe 8 or 9, I would read the cereal boxes, and I noticed all these chemicals listed. And at a very young age, I thought, I wonder if that's what's making people sick. So it's always in my destiny. And what a great thing to be able to help heal people with natural things, because that supports the greening of our planet. So it's good for the people and good for the planet, like the right thing to do, medicine for the people that was good for the earth.
How did that all happen?
By the time I was 15, I went to an all-girls boarding school. And even there, I had sort of an alternative practice in my dorm room where my classmates would come in and they would say, I've got cramps, or I need to stay awake to study for this test. And I would say, here, try some of this, whatever it was, rescue remedy, chamomile tea, smell some lavender oil. I ended up getting expelled from Miss Hall School for Young Ladies for some of the illegal herbs that I kept in that drawer that were very good for cramps. But by the time I was 17, I was helped open up a natural food store in St. Croix in the Virgin Islands. I became the manager of a natural food store. I had a vegetarian restaurant in Miami called The Supernatural. I went to massage school. I never stopped learning. I've had many, many teachers along the way.
And you're an amazing teacher, and I would love for you to share some of the places that you've taught.
Well, I've taught at Esalen and Omega Institute, Sivananda Yoga Ashram. I've taught in Iceland at this really cool school, and even the Mayo Clinic. I was a guest speaker one day. So
Mayo Clinic, wait, that's like regular hospital establishment, big pharma stuff, right?
Yeah, yes, but they were doing a study on raspberry leaves for pregnant women and invited me to come and present. So, that was great. I'm always grateful for the opportunity to share plant wisdom.
Absolutely. That's encouraging that they're open to bringing you in there. So let's talk about plants. That is your purpose on the planet, is to help us connect more with the plant kingdom.
Queendom also.
You're right. Thanks for the correction. Queendom. I stand corrected. It's much more apropos.
We need to rethink the disdain that we've been cultured to have for weeds. Because yes, I know there's wonderful herbs that grow in India and China and Tibet, but things like dandelion, I would like to re-educate people about the fact that many of the things that we've considered weeds are actually some of our greatest allies. And in herbal medicine, there's this philosophy called the doctrine of signatures. And I love that word signature because it has in it the sign of nature. And right now, humans are trying to figure out, well, how can we adapt? There's so many things that we need to adapt and acclimate to that probably aren't going away soon. Things like smart meters and cell phone towers and 5G and radiation and all of that. And if we look at the weeds, the strength that they have to survive. So consider the dandelion. Nobody plants it. Nobody waters it, weeds it, gives it mulch, and yet it thrives. It can grow through the cracks in the sidewalks. It can grow in a busy city. Not that I would recommend harvesting it from a polluted area. We always want to collect our plants ideally 50 feet away from a busy street. But I see the dandelion as sort of an archetype of how we need to be and evolve to be able to adapt to all of the pollutants that are in our environment. So dandelion is one of those. Burdock root used to be recommended during the 17 and 1800s as a way to help people adapt to all of the pollutants that were in the air once we started burning coal. So I feel that the weeds that grow in our country that are all around that we have tried to get rid of really might have the answer to helping us have ultimate health. I know I feel that. This morning we had nettle pancakes, gluten-free and
I
all of that.
love it. I remember when I visited you in Boulder, your kitchen was just this apothecary. You had all these amazing weeds and herbs. And share with us some of your recipes.
I love the fact that when I make a salad, almost all the ingredients were growing 5 minutes before we're eating them. So there's an incredible amount of chi from imbibing something so fresh. But for example, just dandelions alone, this past season, I've made dandelion muffins, dandelion crepes, dandelion loaf, dandelion wine, but we use nettles a lot. Just every day, how can we incorporate more wild food? Serviceberry cobbler, raspberry sorbet.
Tell us about the benefits of weeds like nettles and dandelion, which most people don't really love the taste of. There's goodness and bitter in our lives, right? To take some bitter.
Yes, and dandelion leaves are going to be less bitter in the springtime. So ideally you collect them early in the spring, and then the flowers are edible. They contain lutein, which is really good for our eyes. And the root is something that you can harvest later in the year, even after a frost. You dig up the root. It is in the same family as lettuce, and you can wash it, saute it after it's been chopped up, or dehydrate it in a marinade. Those are a few things I like to do with it. So this, a typical week at our house, we might have dandelion quiche and dandelion loaf and dandelion salad and dandelion crepes. We also use a lot of nettles. So learn what grows around you and make use of it. It's a great way to imbibe things that are so fresh. You can save thousands of dollars a year. There's a special force and power and chi that you get from eating things that were just growing a few minutes before you imbibe them, because many of the vegetables that we buy might have been in the ground weeks ago.
It's a perfect segue into the 7 goddess survival skills that you need to know now.
I like to use the chakra system. So I like to think of the colors of the rainbow. So let's just start with red, which is about survival. And a lot of people are thinking about what would be some good foods to have in storage just in case there's shortages in the grocery store, the power goes out, and these kinds of things happen all around the planet all the time. I'm a big believer in chia seeds. Very neutral in their flavor, but you can jazz them up. They do not require any cooking. They store for a very long time. You just soak them in water and they rehydrate and absorb 7 times their weight in water. So a pound of chia seeds could be a month's worth of breakfast, but you can also flavor them to be sweet or savory.
Like chia pudding, one of my favorite desserts.
Yes, or even add something savory to it, like miso or tamari, or and I see that as a really good survival food because you don't need to cook it. So hopefully we won't be living off of chia seeds, but I think having And knowing how to grow sprouts is another wonderful technique, a way of having fresh greens all winter. I love to grow broccoli sprouts in particular. They have wonderful anti-cancer properties.
I love everything about it. I eat it almost every day.
Well, they help to clear hormones out of the liver. And if you figure that each one of those little sprouts has the potential to grow into a broccoli, this is a wonderful anti-cancer vegetable. And of course, when we sprout things, it increases the vitamin C, the vitamin E. And 1 pound of seed, such as alfalfa seed, can produce 16 gallons of food. And so all you need to do is get yourself some sprouting lids, some ball jars, and learn how to do that. So that's a little bit about red. I also am big on things like black lentils and lentils. They cook very quickly, and you could also just sprout them if you didn't have electricity for a few days. Also, I think of survival skills like taking a wilderness survival class, learning to identify some plants in the wild, learning a self-defense class.
You actually took that yourself recently, right?
Oh yeah, I did. Also, I got recertified as a first aid practitioner. First aid has changed over the years. No longer is it so much about mouth-to-mouth resuscitation as it is doing chest compressions. Do you have a first aid kit in your house? Are you locking your doors? Are you wearing your seatbelt? So little things like that, because all it takes is, an accident to really set you back. So be prepared and be safe. So that's a little bit about red and survival. And then
I wore red in honor of our goddess survival today. And so we've handled red. Now we're going to move to the next one, which is?
So orange is about our relationships with others. So once we've established our own survival, it seems to make sense that we're going to care about the well-being of others, whether it be a partner, friends, our tribe, our community, our pets, the pollinators like the bees, our children, of course, and our community. So I really encourage us to look at hanging out with people that bring out the best in us, that support us. And what can we do to sweeten our relationships? Are we hanging out with people that, are doing wholesome activities? I also think that orange is an opportunity to look at our dwelling space. Can we organize better? Can we clean better? Learning a little bit about feng shui is a wonderful tool to manifest career or relationship. So I love that as a tool as well.
Okay, we're moving into this color. I'm not wearing it, but take it away, Brigitte.
So yellow is about the choice that we do have about what we put in our body. So during this time where there's been so much, fear and concern about our immunity and all the contagious things out there, this is a really good time to look at, am I eating things that I'm allergic to? Am I indulging in things that are addictive, whether it be refined carbohydrates or too much sugar or too much caffeine? So I want to encourage people to learn to use the culinary spices. They're very healing. Things like ginger and garlic and cinnamon and cayenne pepper and oregano. These are all great allies. As a matter of fact, most of the culinary herbs have antimicrobial properties. They're part of the plant's immunity. So when we imbibe them, they strengthen our immunity. And I also feel that including a little bit of fermented food in our diet, a little bit of kimchi or kombucha or sauerkraut, unpasteurized miso can also be a healthful opportunity. And yellow is also about, doing things that help our digestion, such as maybe being mindful when we eat. But we vote with our dollars. And, this is also an opportunity to say, I'm going to pay more attention to what I eat, not eat the things that are undermining my health. I'm also a big believer in having a lunch as the main meal, because we need more fuel in the middle of the day than at the end of the day. And then green is about how can we live more green? We can't wait for the government to say, you all stop buying polluting laundry detergent. It's up to us to make changes now. And I found that you can clean almost everything in your house using white vinegar, baking soda.
Yes.
You can buy more natural, non-polluting brands, even at your regular, stores like Target and Costco. So vote with your dollars. Green is also about learning about the wild edible plants around you, maybe growing a garden. And how can we live more green? Buying more natural body care products, not using things that have methyl and propylparaben and aluminum in them. People don't realize that we absorb about 60% of what we put on our bodies into our bodies. Look at all the drugs that are delivered transdermally. So we really want to be mindful about those lotions and sunscreens and support the companies that are doing good things for the planet. Living green. And then this is also about forgiveness, compassion, being kind to others, doing unto others. So I like that idea. And then blue corresponds to our throat center. So this is an opportunity to speak affirmatively. We're going to do a lot better in life if we can say things like, I'm taking steps to become more organized rather than lamenting. I'm such a mess. I'm so disorganized. So use our words affirmatively. I love the idea of creating truth, beauty, and goodness, to speak the truth and articulate what is true and not overusing profanity. I realize that every once in a while it might be appropriate, but to speak in a way that is going to have you heard. And this is also an opportunity to share your wisdom. So, congratulations, Heaven, on doing a podcast that helps to illuminate and make clear and empower your listeners. I also encourage people to do some creative outlet where you're creating something of beauty, whether it be sketching or making music or, sewing or creating something of lasting value, truth, beauty, and goodness. And then indigo at our third eye center. To me, this is an opportunity to keep learning our whole life, where we put our consciousness, what we choose to read. It's really easy to get sucked into the doom and gloom of the mainstream media. And yes, there's a lot of hard things going on right now, but we need to focus on being part of the solution. And so where we put our consciousness, are we learning new things? Are we sharing the things that we learn? Are we enhancing our intelligence? One thing I like to do with my partners, when we watch a movie, even something on Netflix, we always put subtitles on because we think it is a Jedi skill to be multilingual. So whether it be French, Spanish, or even a language that we don't know that well, a few slang words or verb conjugation.
Oh my goddess, I love that. That's genius. I'm going to start doing that. Okay.
Yeah, it's so fun, whatever's available. And then the last thing is remembering, the top of our head, our connection to spirit, where babies have that soft spot, the fontanelle. And it's a reminder that all of these gifts are a gift from the Creator. And realize, like, what are we doing to feel spiritually connected? We never know how long we have here on this planet. Are we prepared? I was in a plane crash years ago and, I thought that was going to be it. And maybe there wasn't really time to, do kirtan or get in a lotus position. I'm okay, I'm ready. This could be it. So to be spiritually ready, because that's really the important thing.
Let's talk about being a Jedi. You've used that term a few times in conversation with me, and I want to know about you being a Jedi and what does that mean?
The term Jedi, comes from the Star Wars movie, but we like to put a D in front of it so we don't step on anybody's privatization of anything. I see being a Jedi as being someone who's connected to working for the highest good, not only on this planet, but intergalactically forever and ever, to choosing, the team of all one and working for the highest good. It's as simple as that. But it also takes being stealth and smart, not letting yourself be a victim, being ready. And it can be as simple as, what tools do you have in your purse? Are you ready? Do you know what to do in case of an emergency? Are you able to help others? It's really about living on this earth and living in a way that is for the benefit of all and the betterment of the planet and being part of the solution.
Speaking of being for the benefit of all and betterment of the planet, I would love for you to share about Lawn Gone, which is a little mini piece that you created.
Yes, please check out this little 5-minute movie we made called Lawn Gone.
Free the plants, free the planet, free the plants, free the planet, free the plants, to the flowers.
That horrible machine, it almost shredded one of my wings. Isn't there something you'd rather be doing on a beautiful sunny day like this than standing behind this smelly, loud machine?
Oh, God, I hate it, man.
So just think, you could save time, money, the air, the bees, water. You could eat healthier if you perhaps grew food here. It's a win-win situation for you, your neighbors, and all of creation. And if we could just get other people to do this, we could be part of a solution to making a healthier planet. Would you help me?
Yeah.
I am so grateful. I would invite you to come visit me in my fairy realm, and I can show you some things we can do. Follow me. Welcome to the fairy garden. Wow, this is amazing. I bet you know what this is called. It's a dandelion. Most people think this is a weed, but I want you to know that dandelion is one of the top 5 most nutritious plants on the face of the planet. You can eat the leaves, put them in a salad, put them in a juice. You can use them to make a quiche or spanakopita. And then the dandelion root, you can dig up and wash it and saute it or put it in a dehydrator. It's a delicious vegetable, but it also makes a great tea for cleaning our liver, our blood, and our skin. So we don't have to go far to find another great plant. Right here is lemon balm. Lemon balm is a member of the mint family. You can eat the leaves, you can eat the flowers, you could juice it, make it into a salad, a pesto. It is known as Melissa officinalis, and Melissa means sweet leaf. Lemon balm is so medicinal, it has antiviral properties. It makes a delicious lemony tasting tea. Even children love it.
That is a way we can be.
Even this is a really important plant. It's called lamb's quarter. And the Latin name is Chenopodium, which means goose's foot. I am so surprised that people will rip this out of their garden, get in a car, go to the store and buy spinach that is from another state or place on the planet when this is growing freely. Tastes like spinach, and it produces seeds in the fall that can be eaten like a grain. It is a relative of quinoa and amaranth. We just need to learn how some of these weeds are really the ancestors of our cultivated vegetables, and they grow a lot easier with less water, and they grow much earlier and later than your cultivated plants.
Look all around.
Humans need to rethink what they've been told. I personally think they've been bamboozled because nature is giving us free food and medicine everywhere.
We could only see their free food and medicine for you and for me, 'cause they've lived on through the eons. A weed is our precious plant who's yet to be understood, yeah. Let's get to know the weeds that are growing in our neighborhood, yeah.
So, just keep in mind that currently we are using about a third of our nation's water to water grass, which is not a crop that most people are eating. And then what's even worse is then we drive to buy gas and use gas to mow down the grass that we've worked so hard to grow. It just doesn't make sense any longer. This was a technique that the European aristocrats started to show off their wealth, and it just doesn't make sense any longer. We need to use water more wisely.
I am very serious about conserving water. I think people waste so much water. They just turn on the tap, forget to turn it off. I ran into a woman in the bathroom who was primping and left the water running until she was ready to wash her hands. I had to turn the water off a few times to get the message across, like, this is not okay, this is not cool. Don't turn on the water and waste water when we have a shortage of water. We had a few words, but eventually I made my point because I kept turning it off after she kept turning it on. We must be very grateful for the water element because water is life, and we definitely will not survive without food or water.
Proverb I read as a teenager is, if you have water to throw away, throw it on a plant. And I'd like to propose that if everybody had a little basin in their sink, a basin that collected water that maybe you used to rinse an apple or rinse a head of lettuce, or water that's cooled down from boiling an artichoke. And then several times a day, we open the kitchen door and give that water, whether it's to plants on the balcony or the porch or some mint plants outside. I even collect my bath water, especially if I'm not washing my hair and maybe I've just used a little bit of essential oils or Dr. Bronner's peppermint soap. I, fill up a couple watering cans and give the water back to the earth. We're all going to need to start doing that. So we need to just rethink that because water is a precious gift. One trick I learned is that, you're talking about the public restrooms where it's hurtful to see people wasting water. I learned that rather than using the electricity or more paper towels, we could dry our hands on our hair after we wash them.
I love it.
That's so easy. We could all use a little more moisture. And, if we all start doing that and calling each other on it, I don't blame you for turning the water off.
So in closing, I just want everyone to remember, we are living on the living goddess herself. Mother Gaia nourishes and sustains us. Let's show her some love and respect. Okay? Thank you for joining us. I hope you got value. I hope you took notes, and please share this with anyone who you think could benefit. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, I leave you with this blessing song from the goddess. Just trust that all is well and be prepared with the 7 goddess survival skills. This blessed day, you are loved even more than you can know. And with each passing day of life, we watch you as you grow to be more full of wisdom, kindness, and divine. Oh, dear soul, you're a masterpiece, a miracle design. So may the goddess bless us and keep us all aglow. And we wish you loving kindness, and may all blessings